All right, we're going to now pass it on to Peter, our Data and Quality Improvement Coordinator, to tell us more. Peter?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the data update for Sunrise. The program continues to strive for its goals of fostering the improvement of data-related protocols and the integration of data into SCF projects. This is accomplished through pursuing objectives that grant us incremental progress towards our overarching goal. By maintaining and innovating with ongoing data reports, using data to identify areas of opportunity to influence procedures, and informing other projects using up-to-date information, our team members ensure that they are utilizing reliable practices at Sunrise. A reminder that our ongoing reports that are provided to team members are the weekly EHS, EBHV, HIPPY, and in-kind reports. PIR and CACFP related reports are also distributed on a monthly basis to select individuals. If you know of any team members or groups that you would like added to any of these listings, please contact me afterwards to set this up. Looking at the recent quarter, there have been many changes, especially compared to quarter one of this program year, that show the strengths within the organization and the areas of opportunity that the team can capitalize on in the future. Improved metrics have been exhibited across the topics of enrollment, needs identified closed, and average daily attendance compared to quarter one. Other notable successes over the recent quarter consist of data cleaning and sorting within the tools and software that we use, like Child Plus and SharePoint sites, as well as changes in certain measures due to policy and procedural adjustments that were made previously. Areas of opportunity for performance measures when compared to quarter one were seen in identifying family needs, staying up to date with developmental, behavioral, and sensory screenings, and setting goals with participating families. It is important to keep track of possible limiting factors that may be influencing our information so that we can better contextualize our data and respond appropriately. An example of this is staffing limitations and how that can influence the operational capacities of the organization during select periods. With various options like using different tracking tools, leveraging community partnerships, or hosting trainings on a specific topic, it becomes more important for organizations to gather as much information as they can on why their program outcomes are presented a certain way. Moving into the next quarter, we can continue to clean and consolidate data in the tools and systems that are used at Sunrise. We can improve policies and procedures when necessary to increase the reliability and consistency of how data is presented. Team members can explore data topics with high levels of volatility to see if there are areas of opportunity for more streamlined results in the data. Teams can also compare quarter-over-quarter outcomes to check if their operational efficiency is improving and if there are aspects of their daily routine that can be adjusted to better meet program needs. As we continue to set up more distinct parameters around what each role at Sunrise can expect to accomplish, we can see our data develop over time. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this data segment. And now, Carla, what's going on with ERSI?
Thank you, Peter. Hi, everyone. My name is Carla Pascasio. I'm the ERSI manager, and we're going to look at an overview of quarter two's data, starting with enrollment on the upper left-hand side. So this is enrollment for Early Head Start Center Base, Early Head Start Home Base, CCP, which is our childcare partnership sites, EBHV EHS, which is evidence-based home visiting early Head Start, Las Vegas EBHV HIPPY, and HIPPY is home instruction for parents of preschool youngsters, SCF HIPPY, SCF Pre-K, and Nevada Ready. So that's a lot of programs. We remained under enrolled during the second quarter. We can see that the enrollment has slightly increased for EHS center base since December and slightly decreased in March at the end of the quarter. We are still experiencing challenges with being fully staffed, and the staffing challenges in the classroom have not allowed us to enroll more children in the centers. The same with home base of not having enough parent educators. Although not having enough teachers at the centers impacts the capacity of children at the centers, we did start an enrollment initiative during this quarter where we enrolled more families and we started their enrollment intake process. We began engaging them in the program prior to them being able to start physically at the center while they waited for a spot. So we were more intentional with those families on our priority list. Below is our recruitment efforts. Online interest forms remain the platform that generates the most recruitment of families, and referrals are in second place, which shows us how important maintaining partnerships are. The majority of the referrals did come from Title I Hope, which is an agency that assists families experiencing homelessness. And this is a trend that we've seen consistently for the past 3 years. So we've received 188 online interest forms, 15 participants were added to cluster sheets. We attended 2 recruitment events this quarter, and we've received 42 referrals. However, low staffing also does impact our recruitment efforts. Now looking at attendance on the upper right-hand side, the average daily attendance in center base remained below 85% for center base. SCF Pre-K had the highest throughout the quarter. Their attendance was over 85%, except for in March, and Nevada Ready was similar to Early Head Start center base, just slightly lower. Below is home base attendance, which is calculated by how many are completed out of how many possible visits, and evidence-based home visiting. Early Head Start had the highest throughout the quarter. So some updates in ERSI here in the middle of the presentation. Our goal is to achieve full enrollment by the new school year. We're currently on a full enrollment initiative plan. The goal is to be fully enrolled by the new school year, although we do have until February. Recruitment was an area of opportunity during our Q2 internal monitoring, and some of the action items include revising the recruitment policy and procedure, which is in progress and will be completed prior to the new school year. Intentionally train team members on recruiting so that they're fully equipped with knowledge of all programs and recruitment systems. We will be reviewing we'll be reviewing all methods of recruitment. In efforts to achieve full enrollment, we are collaborating with our MBL, or Managed by Leaders Emerging Leaders group, who are helping to develop a recruitment plan for our developing centers. We're preparing parents who are SCF employees to collaborate in reviewing policies and procedures because we want to hear from them, and we're strengthening our current infrastructure. And lastly, we are in the process of updating the selection criteria for school year 23 to 24 so that we can present it to the Policy Council by May. And that concludes the data set for ERSI. Lourdes, tell us what's going on in education.
Good morning, everybody. I am Lourdes Quintana, and I'm one of the education managers. And in education, we continue to have our coaching and our program goal is to provide high quality education for services to all qualified children and families. One of our objectives to our goal is to increase the educators' knowledge and understanding of the impact of positive teacher and child interactions in the strength-based relationship. With that, we want to increase the children's and families' foundation of trust, empathy, connectedness, and equity. We know that the first and most important learning years is our early years, 0 to 5. And it is very important for all of our educators to build those positive relationships with the children and the families. In February, 2 of the managers had the opportunity to go and get integrated reliable for TPTOS. TPTOS is the Pyramid Infant Toddler Observation Scales. And with this integrator, we are able to go into the classrooms and do observations and guide and help and assist all our teaching staff and how do we need to be reacting to the children's. Lately, we've been having a lot of behaviors in the classrooms, and with this rating scale, we will be able to be going in there and assisting the teachers on how to modify those behaviors with the children in a positive and comforting manner. The TPTOS observation tools are we're currently going over them, and we're going to be trying to implement them in our school year 23-24, I'm sorry. So that's something to look forward. I'm very excited to say that everything that Nicole and myself learned in that training, it's focused on our social emotional foundation. And we all know that that's the most important area that a child can grow in so they can in the future pile up anything else that is academics into it. But we need to make sure that their foundation in social emotional is a strong foundation. Another of our objectives is to have all of our teachers, minimum 80% of our teachers to be integrated, reliable, and in the certification with teaching strategies gold. Having the teachers complete the process not only help us to ensure that our teachers are able to use the web-based assessment and be able to individualize for our children. They also increases their understanding of the curriculum, the observations, the assessment, and be able to assess and implement the curriculum bias-free. Through the first quarter, we maintain an average of 80% of our team members being. Through the second quarter, we maintain the 80% of our members being integrated, reliable through this objective for the. I am so sorry. This is a little minor mishap. We have 83% of our staff being integrated, reliable through the teaching strategies gold. Another objective is to have 100% of our children's developmentally screenings and first education home visits to be completed within the 45 days of enrollment. We are happy to say that we have maintained an average of 95% of our children screenings have been done with us, and we have 0 past due. On the first education home visits, we averaged 93% of all of our home visits done, and we are pending 7%. Another one of our objectives is to help to achieve our program goals lines with our coaching process. The objective is to elevate the coaching process to ensure those that have been identified or have self-identified receive appropriate level of coaching. We are recently hired a lead coach, Lydia Madsen, who is in the process of training right now with a goal of being a coaching this summer. And with that, I conclude my information. And Nicole, tell us what's happening in child data outcomes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Pobletti. I am the education manager for Centerbase. Our objective for child data outcomes says that 85% of all children are to meet or exceed the widely held expectations in the 4 developmental domains: social, emotional, physical, language, and cognitive. As a program, we conduct ongoing child assessments throughout the year. Assessments provide valuable information about each child's interests, strengths, and needs. Assessment is an ongoing process that includes observation and provides information about development over time. Systematic ongoing child assessment provides information on children's development and learning. It helps inform curriculum planning, teaching, and individualizing for each child across all Head Start Early Learning Outcomes Framework domains. We are more than halfway through our program year, and the above graphs and charts shows the total number of children in Centerbase who are currently enrolled and entered in TSG, the total number of the primary language of our children speak, a snapshot report to show where our children are falling below, meeting, or exceeding the widely held expectations, and where each age group is falling within those expectations. In the first graph, we can see each center and how their numbers have fluctuated for the total number of children enrolled and entered in TSG. This checkpoint, we included our focus enrolled children who are receiving virtual services. There was not enough data to pull for the few children who were enrolled due to limited number of visits and observations completed. The pie graph for the languages of our children shows that we had a total of 95 children whose primary language is English, 18 Spanish, 2 French, 2 Portuguese, and 1 Vietnamese. Our snapshot graph shows a combined total number of all children in Centerbase who are below, meeting, and exceeding the expectations. Overall, the majority of our children were meeting in all areas. Language is the area that we can see had a higher total number of children who are falling below. Factors for that total number could include, but are not limited to, our dual language learners, low attendance for children falling below, recently enrolled children, children who have transitioned from program option to program option, and other factors. We also see that the total number of Spanish language is showing higher in not meeting the expectations in language. The last graph shows the total number of children who are below meeting or exceeding the expectations for each age group. In our birth to 1-year-olds, we see that there were 5 infants in total. We had 1 child not meeting the expectations for physical. For our 1 to 2-year-olds, we see a total of 25 children who were assessed. Most of the children are meeting the expectations, except under Spanish language, we show 3 children in that age group not meeting those expectations, while 4 children in total were meeting those expectations. For our 2 to 3-year-olds, the largest age group we currently have enrolled with a total number of 60 children, shows that our children are meeting or exceeding the expectations. And within our Spanish language area, the graph shows that 12 children were falling below the expectations. Lastly, our 3-year-olds had a total of 8 children enrolled or entered in TSG. The majority of those children are meeting the expectations for all areas, with only 1 child not meeting in physical, cognitive, and Spanish language falling below. Moving on to home base. As we look at the data above, there were a total number of 59 children who were entered into TSG between home base and EBHB. Of that total, we see the snapshot report shows a total of 9 children who had data entered and scored. Home-based data reflects a low number of children assessed due to staffing and attendance issues. Home visits are conducted bi-weekly, which decrease the number of opportunities for parent educators to obtain observations. The average length of employment for the parent educators is 6 to 8 months. During this quarter, there was only 1 inter-rater reliable parent educator. Parent educators are attending trainings and completing necessary videos on TSG to become inter-rater reliable. The team also continues to educate families on creating observations and recording children in between visits. On this slide, we also see the snapshot reports for our children in the subcategories of foster children, children experiencing homelessness, dual language learners, and children with IFSPs. This data is reflected only upon our center-based children, as there was not enough data for our children in home base and EBHB for the subcategories. For our foster children, we had a total of 6 children who were observed. The majority of the children were meeting or exceeding the expectations for all areas. For our children experiencing homelessness, there was a total of 5 children that were observed. Of that total, the majority of those children were meeting or exceeding all areas. For our dual language learners, we had a total of 24 children assessed. And of that total, the children were meeting in all areas except for social emotional. And lastly, for our children with IFSPs, we had a total of 20 children assessed. For this category, the numbers of children who were below or meeting were almost equal to each other, where more children were meeting than falling below, except in Spanish language. Let's see what's happening in family services. Denzi?
Thank you, Nicole. Hello, everyone. Good morning, buenos dias, and magandang umaga, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Family Services, where we work alongside our families to support them in achieving our family outcomes. My name is Denzi Eusebio, and I'm the Family Services Manager here at Sunrise Children's Foundation, here to share all the exciting updates during this quarter. Our program goal is that we will provide quality family and community engagement services that promote family well-being, strengthen parenting, parent-child relationships, and supports family engagement and school readiness. Our objective is to increase the amount of family engagement opportunities, either in person and virtually using video and mobile technology for the entire family, being intentional on providing more focused engagement opportunities for our fathers and father figures. During Q2, the Family Services team has been consistently working towards our program goals and objectives. The Family Service Workers conduct our Family Partnership Assessment, which is a Parent Gauge 2022, 3 times within the program year. The initial assessment is completed with our families during the first 45 days of enrollment. This is where we're doing introductions, building rapport, and relationships with our families. The second assessment, which is our mid-year assessment, is completed during the second quarter of the program year. During this assessment, our family service workers meet with our families to identify and establish family goals. As an agency, we're at 64% of our families that have completed the mid-year assessments and who are in an active family partnership agreement. The graphs at the center, highlighted in teal, reflect the data of our families who are in the goal setting process, with each bar representing each month. As of Q2, 22% of our families are in the goal setting process. There are 33 family goals that have been established. Some of these family goals are characterized under education, housing, and parenting. The family goals under education mean that the family service workers and families are working together towards mastery of obtaining certifications in specific areas, attending vocational schools, and/or a college course for higher educations. Housing goals that are identified are where we are working with our families to support them in sustaining stable housing, providing them with more resources and support, specifically when it comes to families experiencing homelessness. In efforts to monitor each family's progress towards their family goals, the family service team members are consistently following up with their families and documenting progress steps for each family goal. For the remainder of the program year, the family service workers will be working alongside with their families in identifying goals, creating goals together, and working together to accomplishing these goals. To the very right is the data from our parenting curriculum, Ready Rosie. Ready Rosie is our parenting curriculum that builds on parents' knowledge and uses the power of mobile technology to empower families and schools to work together to promote school readiness. Our family service workers send out video playlists to support our family outcomes weekly. In addition, in efforts to promote more family engagement, our team members can comment on videos and engage in conversations with their families. The pie chart here shows the family outcomes from the video playlists that were sent out to our families. During Q2, there were 528 family outcome opportunities for positive parent-child relationships, 524 for families as lifelong educators, 272 for family well-being, and 525 for families as learners. We have a total of 196 registered users connected to our parenting curriculum. Because Ready Rosie is also tailored to fostering family engagement through our virtual platform, multiple caregivers have the ability to register onto Ready Rosie, an effort to stay engaged with the child's learning experience. Various caregivers that have registered are grandparents and aunts of the child. There is a total of 937 videos that were viewed by our families. It is very exciting watching the amount of family engagement increase throughout this program year. That sums everything up here in Family Services. Until next quarter, everyone, thank you for tuning into Family Services. Angela, passing it on to you.
Thanks, Dency. So I'm Abby Hansen, and I'm actually one of our health coordinators. So I will be sharing our Q2 health, safety, and nutrition data with you today. So our program goal is to optimize the health, safety, and well-being of all our enrolled children and families. This year, our goal is to reach 90% of enrolled children who are up to date on their immunizations and 85% up to date on EPSDT, which is really just a schedule for early and periodic screening, diagnosis, and treatment. So by the end of Q2, we were at 95% up to date on immunizations and 82% up to date on EPSDT. So we've currently met our goal for immunizations with a 2% increase from Q1. And we're very close to meeting our goal for EPSDT, which has fluctuated month to month, as you can see in the tables, but has really remained consistent from the previous quarter's data. And, to reach that goal, we're really going to continue to provide our Well Baby Check forms to doctors' offices and parents, really partnering with them to get those records. We want to investigate on-site partnership opportunities and also revisit our health forms for really everyone to use to make this easier. And our CQI also includes continuing to provide our health information and resources and recipes through our ongoing bi-monthly health services newsletter. And you can see a little snippet from March here in the middle. So during our health services monitoring this quarter, which was completed at all open centers, so 7 centers and 23 classrooms, we identified the highest compliance categories as follows: equipment and materials at 100%, facilities at 93%, active supervision and observations at 90%, and then finally policies and procedures at 81% compliance. All our non-compliant items were corrected by the end of the quarter, and the one indicator that was marked non-compliant urgent was corrected on site during the monitoring. Our quality improvement plan for monitoring includes continuing to support professional development through trainings and updating our policies and procedures throughout Q3 and into the new school year. So lastly, for Q2 of this program year, we had a total of 19,885 claimed meals over about 64 operating days, which is 310 claimed meals per day. So this was a big increase, so approximately 115 meal per day increase from Q1 this year. And you can see in the bottom left, each month is broken down with totals and by meal type. All right, that is all for health, safety, and nutrition. Now let's hear a little bit more about disabilities and mental health.
Good morning, team, and thank you, Abby, for keeping us up to date on all things health and nutrition. My name is Angela Watlington, and I am the Health and Disability Services Manager here at Sunrise. As we continue to focus on optimizing the health, safety, and well-being of all children enrolled, our goals have maintained the same throughout this program year. Throughout Q2, we continued to work with different program areas to identify children eligible for services under IDEA, ensure that all RIOs received have appropriate and timely follow-up, and that special care plan meetings are being complete for children enrolled with an individualized family service plan or treatment plan. SCF is required to maintain at least 10% of its total funded enrollment with children eligible for services under IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. For SCF to achieve this goal, a minimum of 44 children must be enrolled across programs with an IFSP or therapy plan. At the beginning of the year, we had 18 children enrolled, approximately 4.1% of our goal, and have shown a steady increase over Q1 and Q2. We began Q2 with 30 children enrolled, approximately 6.8% of our goal, and ended the quarter with 36 children enrolled, approximately 8.1% of our 10% goal. While we remained under 10% enrollment for children with IFSPs and TPs, we also had a total of 24 open concerns at the end of Q2, an additional 5.4% of participants who are in the process of being observed, receiving internal support, or have a pending referral for services. As part of our efforts to increase our enrollment for children eligible for services under IDEA, SCF's team members will utilize the Request for Internal Observations, or RIO, to initiate requests for support and the completion of observations, which are conducted by the disabilities team for behavioral or developmental concerns exhibited by children. RIOs will result in either internal support by the disabilities team or the coaching team, or an external referral for additional supportive services from one of our community partners. At the beginning of the Q2, some adjustments were made to how external referrals were being tracked and reported. In that, we began including all children who have been referred to CCSD as part of their transition process. While the Q1 RIO submission number remained the same at 9, the number of external referrals increased from 5 to 14. For Q2, 19 RIOs were received, of which 4 resulted in external referrals, and the remaining 15 are still in progress. A total of 28 RIOs have been received since the start of the program year. In addition, in Q2, a total of 20 external referrals were submitted, 4 to NEIS and 16 to CCSD Child Find. With a cumulative total of 34 referrals for this program year, 17 children have been found eligible for services under IDEA, 12 remain in progress to CCSD Child Find, and 3 remain in progress to NEIS. The Health and Disabilities team, alongside SCF team members as part of a collaborative process, complete a special care plan meeting in which child's assessments, results, and established outcomes within the IFSP or therapy plan are reviewed and utilized to develop strategies to support individualization while attending our centers, while in the home, or during home visits. At the end of Q1, SCF had completed a total of 13 special care plan meetings, or roughly 44%, with scheduling challenges being the primary reason for the 70% goal not being met. In Q2, we increased our goal to 80% completion. However, challenges with scheduling and coordination remained, and a total of 9 special care plan meetings were complete, for a cumulative total of 22 since the start of the program year. This equates to 65% completion and an increase of 21% since Q1, but just shy of our Q2 goal by 15%. Lastly, in Q2, as part of our monitoring process, the disabilities tab was reviewed to determine if all required documentation is being appropriately kept on file, in addition to how many children enrolled with an IFSP or therapy plan have a completed disability care plan on file. Of the 33 children enrolled at the time of review, 16 had a completed disability care plan and 82% had up-to-date documentation. As part of our continuous quality improvement plan, we will continue to work towards scheduling completing special care plan meetings for children enrolled with IFSPs or therapy plans, as well as continue to work towards conducting monthly site visits to ensure team members have available resources and support needed for children enrolled with IFSPs or therapy plans, or those exhibiting challenging behaviors or developmental concerns. Additionally, we will continue to focus on examining and updating policies, procedures, and documents related to health and disabilities, and will work to support team members in increasing their knowledge on specific policies and procedures and being able to utilize health and disability tools to fidelity. Hey, Trina, how are things going over in home visiting?
Thanks, Angela. Hello, my name is Trina Richardson, and I'm the home-based manager. My team and I support the EHS home visiting program. And during this quarter, we continue to focus on the goal of providing high-quality education and services to all qualified children and families. In support of this goal, team members attended training that covered Piccolo, hovers, and caregiver health assessments to enhance their ability to support families with positive child interactions while increasing their knowledge about their child's development. The data on these slides reflects our home visiting attendance, services provided to expectant families, and staffing. Home visits have been biweekly during this quarter due to staff vacancies. The biweekly schedule and change of team members has caused some families to be inconsistent with their visit schedule. In response to this, the parent educators have been intentional about confirming home visits, connecting with families during off weeks, and going to homes on families who are unresponsive. The home visiting team currently has 5 open positions. Leadership is currently working to fill those positions by attending local job fairs and community events. The graph above shows that all current team members need to attend the Parents as Teachers certification, and it has been scheduled for April. 33% of the team members are integrated reliable and 17 have a degree or CDA. The home visiting team will continue to work on TSG integrated reliability with safe, self-paced and group trainings, and new hires will begin the CDA program once they've completed their initial onboarding trainings. The home visiting program enrolls expected families and supports them with education on breastfeeding, safe sleep, effects of drug and alcohol, and fetal development. The data above reflects a total of 19 expectant families enrolled in both the EHS and EBHV program. Of those families, 8 were high risk and 2 were teen mothers. There's only been one family to terminate prior to the program year. The data also reflects 4 families enrolling their child in the program after giving birth. This data will change once expectant mothers have delivered. The data also shows the number of families with health care and if they have received prenatal and postnatal services. The home visitors continue to support families with education and resources, supports positive outcomes in this area. Thank you for allowing me to share what's going on at home base. Terry, can you tell us about HIPPY?
Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Meehan, the HIPPY Program Manager. HIPPY, which stands for Home Instruction for Parents of Preschool Youngsters, serves children who are of 2 to 5 years of age in Clark and Nye County. The Sunrise HIPPY Strategic Plan builds on the program's current strengths and focuses on our energies and resources in 3 key areas related to family and community outcomes. Those areas are foster school readiness and achievement through supportive parents and primary caregivers in their role as their child's first and most important teacher, promote family engagement and well-being, and create a healthy and supportive work environment for our team members. The plan is built upon 5 strategic goals, including school readiness and achievement. Sorry, I just covered that. Each strategic goal aligns with Sunrise Children Foundation's mission of helping children fulfill their potential of safe, healthy, and educated lives. HIPPY program goals and objectives align with HIPPY accreditation standards and benchmarks from evidence-based home visiting, otherwise known as EBHV. In the first 2 quarters of the 2022-2023 program year, 51 families were served by the HIPPY program. These figures are based on cumulative enrollment. During this time, the HIPPY program completed 543 home visits and 133 supplemental visits. 74% of families completed scheduled visits each week. The objective for attendance is that 80% of families complete scheduled visits each week. The Q2 HIPPY CQI goal was that 60% of HIPPY families complete 15 packets by the end of Q2. The HIPPY program fell short of this goal at 48% of families completed 15 packets by the end of Q2, putting them on track to finish all packets by the end of the HIPPY program year. The annual objective for packet completion is 80% of families complete 30 packets by the end of the program year. The objective for family daily reading is that 100% of families read daily with their enrolled child. In the first 2 quarters, 51% of HIPPY families read daily with their HIPPY enrolled child. 43% of children, or 84%, received an initial developmental screening. The objective is that 100% of HIPPY children receive an initial developmental screening annually. The HIPPY program continued to offer community resources to families at each home visit for a total of 321 resources offered. Team member wellness and support continue to be an important area of focus this quarter. The HIPPY teams track stress levels weekly, with 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. The average quarterly stress rating for the HIPPY team was 2.2 out of 5. The objective is that the HIPPY team annual stress rating is less than 2. Stress factors were discussed during reflective supervision, and self-care was a topic of nearly every weekly meeting, with self-care tips sent out every Wednesday to the team. To further support team members, parent educators received an average of 1.4 hours of reflective supervision from a supervisor each month. The objective for reflective supervision is that the average hours of reflective supervision per home visitor per month is 1.5 or greater. For professional development, the objective is that 100% of home visitors achieve certification in 3 teaching strategies gold age groups within 3 months of hire. By the end of Q2, 2 out of 4 home visitors were inter-rater reliable in 3 age groups, and 2 team members were in training. I hope that my brief presentation has given you insight into the impact that the HIPPY program is having on children and families in Southern Nevada. Thank you for your time today. I also want to extend a special thanks to the HIPPY team home visitors, without whom none of this would be possible, and also to the management and executive teams here at Sunrise. Together, we can achieve the SCF mission of helping children fulfill their potential of safe, healthy, and educated lives. Now let's hear about what's happening at SCF Pre-K and Nevada Ready here at Sunrise.
Thank you, Terry. Hello, everyone. I am the Center Director for West Campus, and today I will be talking to you about our SCF Pre-K program and our Nevada Ready program. Currently, our SCF Pre-K program is serving 13 children enrolled. During our spring checkpoint, we did have a total of 10 children enrolled. Out of those 10 children, we did have 8 children that were meeting those expectations. We had 2 children that were falling below in those expectations. Staff are continuing right now to work on with families and individualize and set those goals with those families. Staff are continuing to send those activities home, promoting that engagement with the family. We are currently right now doing staff switches for that program. So there is a staff switch in that program, but our children are continuing to promote that learning and development. As you see in our graphs, we see our comparative report for our spring checkpoint. The first graph shows our 3-year-old comparative report. The second graph at the bottom is showing for our 4-year-old comparative report. We are continuing to individualize and promote that learning for those children. The 2 children that are falling below expectations are seeking the disabilities help. They are falling below on social, emotional, and language development. For our Nevada Ready program, we are currently having 8 children enrolled in the program. At the time of this data, we did have 7 children enrolled. We are continuing to have Brigand screenings in our Nevada Ready program. 7 children out of those 7 children have completed all Brigand screenings. Our overall classroom observation was at a 68%. We are currently still facing challenges in our program with attendance in that Nevada Ready program. By the end of that checkpoint, we did have all 7 children observed and all screenings completed and for all children enrolled. Now let's take a look at in-kind.
Oh, that's me again, Kathy Nickelbein, here to talk about in-kind and family engagement. In-kind is vital to each child's early Head Start experience. It is an extension of our classroom and home visits and includes activities parents do with their children all the time. Since we know parents are their children's first and foremost important teacher, in-kind gives parents the opportunity to not only help their child learn and increase their school readiness skills and build strong connections between home and school, but also earn in-kind for our program. In-kind hours equals federal dollars that help run our program. Head Start and early Head Start programs like ours receive funds from the federal government to serve children and families. One requirement of this funding is that we match 20% with donations of time, supplies, or local funding. This means we need help from all of our parents and local community to continue to operate our early Head Start program. Parents and other family members can volunteer their time completing parent-child activities, volunteering for the program, and donating mileage for specific medical, dental, and therapy appointments. We call all of this in-kind, or meaning donated time. In-kind is important to ensure that we not only remain fully funded, but also helps parents see all that they do for their child, which enables them to be a better parent to their child. Parent-child activities are the activities done at home that are an extension of the classroom or home visit and supports parents in their teaching role as their child's primary teacher. These parent-child activities align with each child's individual school readiness goal in one or more of the developmental domains: social, emotional, physical, cognitive, and language and literacy. Parent volunteer hours are allowable only if the activities they do with their children align with their child's individual school readiness goal as documented on each child's individual school readiness learning plan, or ISRP. So far this year, we have 569 approved hours. And we have 835 approved miles. Out of all of those 569 approved hours, 420 hours are parent-child activities, those activities that parents are doing at home with their children. 132 or 23% are those medical therapy visits. And another 15 hours or 3% are parent volunteer time, or when the parents are coming into the classroom and helping wash the hands or reading stories to the children, attending parent meetings or home-based socializations. Activities in each school, so we can see what to increase the school readiness of their children. We can see that 221 activities were done in language and literacy, 211 activities were done in social emotional, 205 in physical, and 101 in cognitive. Good job and keep up the great work. We'll continue to talking to our parents for CQI and continue working on the system to ensure that the parents can access it and enter their time into the system. Thank you, and moving on, I forgot who was next. I didn't write it down. Thank you, it's the end, yay! Thank you everyone for joining us here for Spring Data Jam. Don't go anywhere. We are gonna take a 5-minute break. Right, is that next? No, we're gonna do a 5-minute break. Let the managers regroup, get up, go use the restroom really quick, come right back. I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer. We're gonna go into some breakout rooms after one other presentation. We're gonna do some great activities. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So hang tight, sit where you are, and we'll be back in 5. I don't know why that keeps switching. All right, welcome back. If you're back, turn your cameras on or type in the chat, you're back. Want to see those happy smiling faces? All right, look at that. All those smiling faces out there. My blank screen. All righty then. Are we back? Everybody looks like we're coming back with the smiling faces. I'm no longer sharing my screen, correct? Correct? Correct?
That's right.
Correct.
That's right.
All right.
Amy, I see you in the home visiting team. Who else is there with you?
We have Melissa and Chloe, and the others are trickling in.
Oh, awesome. All right, well, so with that, the next part is for our home visiting and family services team to dig into a little bit more of their data. We had a lot of data that was shared, and we're just going to dig in this next session just a little bit more into that data. So I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful home visiting and family services team.
Thank you, Kathy. And hopefully my screen is sharing.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Just give me one moment. All right, so hello again. I'm Terry Meehan, the HIPPY program manager. And HIPPY, as I stated before, stands for Home Instruction for Parents of Preschool Youngsters. So we have several HIPPY programs here at Sunrise in Clark and Nye County. But when we consider measuring what matters most, what I hold near and dear to my heart is the health of our team members here at Sunrise. So we are required by our program models and funders to track a lot of data from school readiness to family health. But it's important to think about how we're tracking our own wellness. In HIPPY, we track our stress level weekly, and our goal is to maintain an annual stress level of less than 2. For the first 2 quarters of the program year, our stress average has been about 2.2. And you may be asking yourself, why do we measure our stress on the HIPPY team? The short answer is that our health impacts the quality of services that we offer to families that we serve. Stress affects our physical and mental health and can lead to team member absenteeism and turnover. Tracking our stress allows us to look for trends and take a proactive approach. So for example, we found that our stress rating was the highest during periods of enrollment. And you can see on our graph that September and February were our highest month of stress. Those were also months when we were completing a lot of enrollments. With this knowledge, we can take steps to include an extra focus on team members' wellness during periods of enrollment. The graph also shows that the high stress rating was temporary. So that lets us know that, though we have times of higher stress than normal, they won't last. To further illustrate why we talk about and focus on stress at Sunrise, I'd like to share a short video with you from TED Ed.
Cramming for a test? Trying to get more done than you have time to do? Stress is a feeling we all experience when we are challenged or overwhelmed. But more than just an emotion, stress is a hardwired physical response that travels throughout your entire body. In the short term, stress can be advantageous, but when activated too often or too long, your primitive fight or flight stress response not only changes your brain, but also damages many of the other organs and cells throughout your body. Your adrenal gland releases the stress hormones cortisol, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine. As these hormones travel through your bloodstream, they easily reach your blood vessels and heart. Adrenaline causes your heart to beat faster and raises your blood pressure, over time causing hypertension. Cortisol can also cause the endothelium, or inner lining of blood vessels, to not function normally. Scientists now know that this is an early step in triggering the process of atherosclerosis, or cholesterol plaque buildup in your arteries. Together, these changes increase your chances of a heart attack or stroke. When your brain senses stress, it activates your autonomic nervous system. Through this network of nerve connections, your big brain communicates stress to your enteric or intestinal nervous system. Besides causing butterflies in your stomach, this brain-gut connection can disturb the natural rhythmic contractions that move food through your gut, leading to irritable bowel syndrome, and can increase your gut sensitivity to acid, making you more likely to feel heartburn. Via the gut's nervous system, stress can also change the composition and function of your gut bacteria, which may affect your digestive and overall health. Speaking of digestion, does chronic stress affect your waistline? Well, yes. Cortisol can increase your appetite. It tells your body to replenish your energy stores with energy-dense foods and carbs, causing you to crave comfort foods. High levels of cortisol can also cause you to put on those extra calories as visceral or deep belly fat. This type of fat doesn't just make it harder to button your pants. It is an organ that actively releases hormones and immune system chemicals called cytokines that can increase your risk of developing chronic diseases, such as heart disease and insulin resistance. Meanwhile, stress hormones affect immune cells in a variety of ways. Initially, they help prepare to fight invaders and heal after injury, but chronic stress can dampen the function of some immune cells, make you more susceptible to infections, and slow the rate you heal. Want to live a long life? You may have to curb your chronic stress. That's because it has even been associated with shortened telomeres, the shoelace tip ends of chromosomes that measure a cell's age. Telomeres cap chromosomes to allow DNA to get copied every time a cell divides without damaging the cell's genetic code. And they shorten with each cell division. When telomeres become too short, a cell can no longer divide, and it dies. As if all that weren't enough, chronic stress has even more ways it can sabotage your health, including acne, hair loss, sexual dysfunction, headaches, muscle tension, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, and irritability. So, what does all this mean for you? Your life will always be filled with stressful situations, but what matters to your brain and entire body is how you respond to that stress. If you can view those situations as challenges you can control and master, rather than as threats that are insurmountable, you will perform better in the short run and stay healthy in the long run.
So as we can see, stress is has a big effect on us, and it shows up in our work too. So as tracking our stress is not a requirement of our program model or of our funders, you will not find a way to track our stress rating in our data entry system. So how do we track our stress? We use an Excel spreadsheet called our personal stress tracking tool. We track our stress individually and talk about it in weekly one-on-one reflective supervision sessions. And we also talk about the reasons behind our stress and look for trends there. Individual stress ratings are then aggregated to create a team average each week, month, quarter, and year. We are happy to share this tool with you and hope that you will find it useful. Brittany, would you please put the link for the shared file into chat? I hope that you will utilize this tool to make healthy changes in your own life, both at work and at home. At Sunrise, we place a high value on the health and wellness of all team members, and we want you to know that we are here to support you in your wellness journey. Thank you for the important work that you do, and please remember to focus on your own self-care every day. I will now turn the floor over to Trina, our home-based manager, to talk about EHS home base. Thank you.
Good morning. Great job, Terry. Just one moment and I will share my screen, hopefully without any technical difficulties.
Always got to be some technical difficulties, Trina.
I know, I was thinking we didn't have many this morning.
No,
Except for you flipping the screen around, I was like,
it wasn't me. It did it itself. I don't know why.
I was like, what happened here?
I don't know.
No, I appreciate you, Kathy. Hold on, let me get this going. Oh, that's not what I want to share, but here we go.
All right, we can see your PowerPoint. Nope. Just now we can't. It was just a teaser. There you go. You had to remember all of that.
Am I sharing right now?
No.
Okay. It's okay. I'm gonna get it right now. I think it's a little bit of user error.
Well, nothing like being on the spot.
Yeah, I think I'm just
In the spotlight, I meant like in the spotlight, like everyone's, so think of that. Oh, there we go. Okay.
What's happening is I was having a hard time getting to the bottom right here because this Zoom is in the way.
Mm-hmm.
I can make it I can share it as a.
Nope, you're sharing.
Okay, perfect. But I'm on the wrong slide.
Well, that I can't help you with.
What can you see?
It says plan what was observed.
See, I don't want you to see that yet.
Oh, we're ahead of the schedule. Good job.
There.
There we go. All right.
All right. Good morning again. Good morning, everyone. I am Trina, the home-based manager. And I just want to share some CQI around our attendance. So we use the plan, do, act, study cycle to look at our attendance for this past quarter. We started off with what was observed. And as you can see here in this chart, what our home visit attendance was like. It was around 62. We got up to about 69% in EHS, EBHV attendance. There's a smaller group of families and their attendance was around 89 and dropped to 70% in March. And we found that the attendance was affected by families being ill, biweekly schedules, families being out of routines, staff shortages, and parents slow to build rapport with new parent educators. And then we have many mothers who are going back to work. So what we did, we resumed in-person visits. We focused on relationship building. We hired new parent educators, and we focused on ways to engage parents during the weeks they're not visiting. We started a weekly newsletter, and then our socializations. So what do we conclude from that? Families had become accustomed to virtual visits and often canceled. Family schedules had changed due to them going back to work. But we also noticed that there were many families who remained engaged and attended visits and socializations on a regular basis. What do we learn? We learned that we need strategic recruiting, hospitals, clinics, WICs, et cetera, to reach out to our true home visiting families who are teen moms, homeless families, And they are home and typically are our families who are in our home visiting program. We also continued our in-person visits, but offered new time slots. Some of our parent educators are starting a little bit early, like 30 minutes to an hour early to visit families, or staying at 30 minutes up to an hour late at this time for visits. We also looked at our parent survey and updated it to include suggestions on why attendance has been a challenge for families. And so thank you for allowing me to present our CPUI around attendance. I keep wanting to say it well. Thank you.
Is that it then, Trina, for family services and home visiting?
Yes, thank you.
Woohoo! All right. Thank you, ladies. We did it a little bit different this data jam. We would have typically gone straight into the breakout rooms, but our home visiting team has a prior engagement to attend to. So we are going to go ahead and go into our breakout rooms to dig a little bit more. Oh, my camera's not on. We're going to dig into a little bit more into the data, into certain program areas. We're going to look at our child data outcomes with Nicole and Lourdes. We're going to look at health, nutrition, and disabilities a little bit more with Angela and Abby and her team. And then we're going to look at Ursi and what she's going to share with her team. So the breakout rooms are going to open up. You're going to stay there. We're going to go into the managers have 20 minutes. They're going to give and share the data or whatever activity they're going to do. After 20 minutes, I'll send out an announcement that we have 1 minute, so y'all know. So somebody in the group, please remind the manager we only have like 1 minute, because we don't want to spring it on them and then we're moving them. When 20 minutes is up, I will move the manager. I will move Nicole, Angela, and Carla. Everybody else that's supporting them, you should be able to move with them. If not, we'll figure it out. Okay. I'm going to open up all the rooms. So enjoy, have fun. And we're going to do this 3 times, 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Have fun, everybody. And then if Angela, if you need someone to join your team and she's not there, let me know. She left. Okay.
Kathy, am I in this room, or I don't know where?
You're a host. You get to choose a room.
Oh, okay. So I